Good morning, everyone. Dear student, in last lecture, we also discussed about importance of political institution in democracy. We also discuss about Indian government also implement Mandal Commission report. This Mandal Commission report implemented in parliament in both houses according to debate and discussion. In 1990, we also aware about VP Singh government is the first step of his government to implement Mandal Commission report, and according to Mandal Commission report, 27% job reserved for SC, ST and SEBC communities. And after implementation, this report we also aware about start protest, counter protest, violence in our country. And finally, many peoples, many organizations file petition in different district court, high court and Supreme Court. And finally, Supreme Court also decided to gather two different kind of petitions in Supreme Court and 11 judges also hear this case, and finally decision in favor of union government according to be some modification. In 1993 again department also issued new notice related to be 27% reservation in India to be SC, ST and SEBC. So who take this decision? Now question is B. Of course, parliament. And in parliament, legislature. So we also aware about three different organ of government: legislature, executive and judiciary. So parliament and legislature. Parliament, in all democracy, an assembly of elected representative exercise supreme political authority on the behalf of people. In India, such as National Assembly called the Parliament. Student, from the beginning in ninth standard, we also aware about in our country, we adopt a method of indirect form of democracy, means representative form of democracy. Peoples elect their representative. Representatives sit in parliament, and this representative also take decision on different issues. We also aware about Mandal Commission report also discussed in parliament, and this Mandal Commission report also discussed by elected representative on the behalf of peoples. So in our country, in National Assembly called to as a parliament, and we also aware about in at the state level, this is called legislature or legislative assembly. The name is be very different country is be differ. We also aware about in Russia is be Duma. Name of parliament in Russia is be Duma. In our country, name of our highest panchayat is be parliament. So in parliament, legislature elected representative also play important role. जो काम होता है वो सारे के सारे हमारे elected representative करते हैं. जो ruling government है, they also play important role. So legislature, the body of elected representative at the state level, is be called legislature or legislative assembly. In Haryana, Haryana State Assembly in the Chandigarh. The name may be different countries be different. I am also given to example. Russia is be Duma. What are the significance of parliament in democracy? So what are the importance of parliament in democracy? Parliament exercise political authorities on the behalf of the people in many ways. जो भी काम होते हैं पार्लियामेंट में, जो भी डिसीजन लिए जाते हैं, वो पॉलिटिकल अथॉरिटी लेती है on the behalf of peoples, because member of parliament, representative of parliament elected by people, so they take the decisions on the behalf of peoples. Parliament is the final authority for making law in any countries, not in our country, different part of world. Parliament also play important role making law. It can also change existing law or abolish existing law and make new ones in their place. Student, we also aware about in last 5 to 6 years, BJP government also make many law. You also aware about most important lawmaking by Indian government to abolish Act 370 from Jammu and Kashmir. So this law also passed in parliament in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And BJP government also make a new law, Triple Divorce Act. So according to this act also in favor of Muslim women. So this law also passed in parliament according to debate and discussion. So making law is the main work of our representative, and this work done in parliament in both house, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Second main work of parliament, parliament exercise control over those who run the government. No discussion can to be taken without the support of parliament. Second main task of parliament is be control over those who run the government. In parliament, two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha is a house of elected representative, elected by peoples, directly elected. And Rajya Sabha is a house of member of Rajya Sabha not directly elected. They are also indirectly elected by state assembly representative. So they also controlled government. Government not misuse his power. So they are also controlled by Rajya Sabha and they are also controlled by President of India. So Parliament also controlled government. They also against government unfavorable policies. They also criticize government when government make any negative policies in our country. They also expose government in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha and outside parliament also in front of public. So parliament also control government and government take decision when government fully support in parliament. अगर वो fully support नहीं है तो कोई भी डिसीजन नहीं ले सकती. नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट वर्क ऑफ पार्लियामेंट also control the money matter. This is most important task of parliament. Parliament control all the money that government have. In most country, any the public money can be spent only when the parliament sanction it. Student, we are aware about in every year in the month of Feb, government also pass a budget. According to this budget, government also fix कि किस डिपार्टमेंट को कितना पैसा देना है. Government also decided this total percentage of in our country भी कितना परसेंटेज हम इस साल में एजुकेशन पे स्पेंड करेंगे, कितना पैसा हम इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को डेवलप करने में खर्च करेंगे, कितना पैसा हम हेल्थ फैसिलिटीज को इंप्रूव करने में करेंगे. सो दिस डिसीजन आल्सो टेकन इन पार्लियामेंट अकॉर्डिंग टू बी मनी मैटर ड्यूरिंग द टाइम ऑफ बजट सेशन. सो पार्लियामेंट आल्सो कंट्रोल मनी मैटर. नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट वर्क, पार्लियामेंट इज द हाईएस्ट form of the discussion and debate on public issues and national policies in any country. It can seek information about any matter. This is another important work. In this work, opposition political parties also play important role. We also aware about in parliament two main parties, ruling party and opposition party. When government also want to pass, government also want to making any new law, so government also need to be passed in both house. दोनों हाउस में वो पास हो, लोकसभा एंड राज्यसभा. So in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, opposition political parties also play important role. During the time of debate and discussion, they also put different kind of question. They also want to seek information about this matter. क्यों करना चाहते हैं, क्या उसके किस तरीके के रिजल्ट्स आएंगे, तो ये सभी कहाँ पे डिस्कस किया जाता है, ओनली इन पार्लियामेंट. सो पार्लियामेंट आल्सो प्ले इंपॉर्टेंट रोल फॉर लॉ मेकिंग. अपोजिशन पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज आल्सो कंट्रोल टू गवर्नमेंट अकॉर्डिंग टू बी लॉ मेकिंग प्रोसेस. जब भी वो बनाते हैं उनको कंट्रोल किया जाता है. जो भी पॉलिसीज बनेगी इन पब्लिक वेलफेयर बनेगी, उनके अगेंस्ट में नहीं बनेगी. सो दिस इज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट टास्क ऑफ पार्लियामेंट. ये इसीलिए इंडिया में पार्लियामेंट या वर्ल्ड में पार्लियामेंट की इंपॉर्टेंस है. नेक्स्ट इज बी different houses of parliament. Student, we also aware about in our country two houses in parliament. So since the parliament plays central role in modern democracy, parliament play important, most important role in democracy, and the larger country divided the role and powers of the parliament in two parts. In our country, in our parliament also divided two different house, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So in our country, we call to be houses, but different countries also call to as a chambers. Chamber mean house. Same. One house is usually directly elected by the people and exercise the real power. Student, in our country, Lok Sabha also directly elected by the peoples. And this house also use maximum power. Totally power also exercised by Lok Sabha because Lok Sabha directly elected by peoples. Second house elected indirectly and perform some special function. They were looking the interest of the various state, regions and federal unit. Second house, Rajya Sabha, indirectly elected by state assembly members. And this house also play important role because this house also represent state representative. So in India, Parliament have two houses: Rajya Sabha, Council of State; Lok Sabha, House of People. The President of India is a part of the Parliament, although she is not a member of either house. जो president है वो parliament का ही एक part है, but president not belong to be any house, not a member of Lok Sabha, not a member of Rajya Sabha. First house is the Lok Sabha. It is directly elected by the people and exercise the real power. In starting, we also discuss about peoples elect their representative, and this representative also sit in Lok Sabha. So, Lok Sabha member directly elected by people and maximum power used by member of Lok Sabha. The maximum strength of houses is be 552 or 530 members are elected from the state and 20 members from the union territory. Two members are nominated by the President of India from the Anglo-Indian community. Present membership of the Lok Sabha is be 545. Maximum strength in our country as a member of Lok Sabha is be 552. At present is be 545. 543 is be elected, two nominated by President of India. So this is first house, and we also call to be Lok Sabha is a lower house, lower chamber. And we also aware about in Lok Sabha, a Lok Sabha house carpet is be green because representative belong to the grassroots, directly elected by peoples. So this is the importance of Lok Sabha. Second house is the Council of State, Rajya Sabha. Is usually elected indirectly and perform some special function. The most common work of the second house is to look after the interest of various state, regions or federal unit because member of Rajya Sabha elected by स्टेट असेंबली रिप्रेजेंटेटिव इलेक्टेड बाय स्टेट असेंबली रिप्रेजेंटेटिव जो हमारे एमएलए होते हैं डिफरेंट स्टेट में वो राज्यसभा के मेंबर को इलेक्टेड करते हैं सो राज्यसभा एज ए रिप्रेजेंट राज्यसभा आल्सो रिप्रेजेंट डिफरेंट स्टेट सो दिस इज द रीजन वी कॉल टू काउंसिल ऑफ स्टेट कि जो वो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव है दे बिलोंग टू बी डिफरेंट स्टेट अलग अलग स्टेट से बिलोंग करते हैं तो यही कारण है कि जो राज्यसभा के मेंबर हैं वो कंट्रोल करते हैं गवर्नमेंट को एंड वी आल्सो नो अबाउट इन डिफरेंट स्टेट different political parties also ruled so this is the reason government also face problem when government also want to make new law change in any law because government of course in majority in Lok Sabha but not majority in Rajya Sabha राज्यसभा में गवर्नमेंट की मेजोरिटी कई बार नहीं होती सो एट दिस टाइम गवर्नमेंट आल्सो फेस डिफरेंट प्रॉब्लम्स क्योंकि वहां पे जो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव है दे बिलोंग टू बी डिफरेंट स्टेट डिफरेंट रीजन डिफरेंट यूनियन टेरिटरीज इट हैज नॉट मोर देन 250 मेंबर्स 250 से ज्यादा मेंबर नहीं हो सकते एंड प्रेजेंटली 250 मेंबर इन राज्यसभा in 250 member 238 elected by different state assembly and 12 of Rajya Sabha member are nominated by the president from the person who have to earn to the distinction into the field of literature, art, science, social services, in film industry, in sports, businessmen. So President of India has nominated 12 members. They belong to the different fields. And Rajya Sabha is a permanent body. Rajya Sabha member elected by state assembly member. Tenure of the Rajya Sabha is be 6 years, and after every 2 years, one third member also retire in Rajya Sabha, and Rajya Sabha never be dissolved. राज्य सभा कभी भी डिसॉल्व नहीं होता because is a continuously process. One third member also retired after 2 years. So again, one third elected, again retired, again elected. So this continuously process also continue. And tenure of Rajya Sabha member is be 6 years. Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. At present, 250 member in Rajya Sabha distributed among the different state and union territory. Distinguish between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Main difference between both houses. Lok Sabha, Lok Sabha members are be directly elected by eligible voter. We also aware about according to eligible voter is 18 year. So eligible voter also elect their representative, and representative also sit in Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha member of Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected member of state legislative assembly. जो state legislative assembly के member हैं वो राज्य सभा के member को elect करते हैं. For example, in Haryana, 5 Rajya Sabha seats in Haryana, and according to the Lok Sabha, 10 Lok Sabha seat in Haryana. So 10 member directly elected by voter, 5 Rajya Sabha member indirectly elected by state legislative assembly. The period of Lok Sabha is a 5 year. Rajya Sabha, it is a permanent body. One third of its member retired every 2 years, and tenure of a one member is be 6 year. 6 साल के लिए elect किया जाता है. Maximum strength in Lok Sabha is be 552. In Rajya Sabha, it has not more than 250 members. Money bills can be only introduced in the Lok Sabha. It guaranteed to the money to be running the administration of the country. And Rajya Sabha also not play any important role in money matter. So Rajya Sabha does not exercise much power over money bills. So total money matter also discussed only in Lok Sabha, not in Rajya Sabha. And dear student, more power than Rajya Sabha, because Lok Sabha is more powerful than to be Rajya Sabha, less powerful than to be Lok Sabha, because we also aware about any ordinary law need to be passed by the both house. But if there is difference between the two houses, final decision taken in joint session in which member of the both houses sit together. अगर किसी बिल पे कोई डिस्प्यूट भी हो जाता है तो दोनों हाउस इकट्ठा बैठेंगे और वहां पे वोटिंग किया जाएगा. एंड वी आल्सो अवेयर अबाउट मैक्सिमम स्ट्रेंथ इन लोक सभा. So according to majority of Lok Sabha, this bill also pass in favor of Lok Sabha members. Another important power of Lok Sabha is be Lok Sabha exercise more power on money matter. जो मनी के मैटर्स हैं, फर्स्ट पास इन लोकसभा. लोकसभा आल्सो सेंड टू बी राज्यसभा फॉर डिबेट एंड डिस्कशन. राज्यसभा कैन नॉट बी रिजेक्ट एनी मनी मैटर. मनी मैटर को रिजेक्ट नहीं कर सकती. राज्यसभा जस्ट डिले ओनली फॉर 14 डेज. 14 दिन के लिए उसको डिले कर सकती है एंड गिव टू सम सजेशन. And this is depend on Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha accept this kind of suggestion, accepted or rejected depend on Lok Sabha. So this is the reason to Lok Sabha is more powerful than to be Rajya Sabha. And one more reason to be Lok Sabha is a powerful. Lok Sabha control the council of minister. Only a person who enjoy the support of majority of the member in the Lok Sabha is appointed the prime minister. जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर होता है वो मेजोरिटी ऑफ मेंबर्स के अकॉर्डिंग है एंड एज ए पार्ट ऑफ लोक सभा. इफ any another if any members another political members also say no confidence on prime minister, no confidence over government, so government is be dissolved. If they also log in Lok Sabha, prime minister not through his majority, so this action, this work not done in Rajya Sabha. No confidence जो मोशन है सिर्फ लोक सभा में पास होगा, राज्य सभा में वो पास नहीं हो सकता. So this is the reason Lok Sabha is more powerful than to be Rajya Sabha. And remaining part we continue on next lecture.